You guys hear that? That's some real shit right there. I got that homegrown. I don't care about the Dow Jones. The economy can crash tonight, and your whole life savings wouldn't save your life. That's real. There's a quote by Gandhi that says, "To forget how to dig the earth and tend the soil is to forget ourselves." We as people have gotten so far away from the soil, we have forgotten our connection to the soil. We've let these big agriculture companies, industries, take charge of our food source. And we're living on this prepackaged food. Everything we eat is prepackaged, it's fast, it's fixed for us already, and it's distorted our taste buds. Our food supply is in a state of crisis, just like our neighborhoods are in a state of crisis. And it's in need of triage, just like you would do in a disaster or in a war. We're under siege. And somebody's profiting from that. Who in here has a garden? That's nice. That's nice. We gotta get the other ones of y'all to raise your hands. The food industry is $1 trillion a year business. Nowadays we have food technology. We have scientists that sit in little labs that work for hours trying to figure out how to entice us and enhance the flavor of food so we can, with more additives and more preservatives. So it looks better and it tastes better, and they make it, mass produce it, so we can eat plenty of it at a real cheap price. Can you imagine what one of these board meetings must look like when they're trying to figure out on the voting of a new flavor? What do we do? What do we do? Oh yeah, we put this in there. What about we make it pink? You know, and all this stuff. They don't care what goes into it. The new ingredients. Imagine a list of chemicals and the descriptions on the front of these boards that they put in front of these boards members, and they vote on which one will entice us to get us to buy more. Is this how this is me? Okay. So their pockets can get fat. I don't think so. I call this predatory food. It's simple and it's easy to prepare. It's cheap and addictive. It's food injustice, because a lot of it's happening in certain neighborhoods. And I'm getting real sick of people that say, oh, I work in food justice. How the hell can you work in food justice? There is no such thing as food justice. You work in something that doesn't exist. Until we change it, this food injustice, then we can have food justice, and maybe you can work on keeping it just. But right now, it's not just. It's predatory. Matter of fact, I got some snacks for you guys. Not really, it's snacks. Anybody got computer access here, or iPhone or something that they can get online with it? I want you to look something up. You got it? Okay, look this up for me. Look at the ingredients on there, and then later on, somebody can look the ingredients up on that for me, and especially the ingredients on this Kern's strawberry nectar. You getting anything? Come on, somebody look up I want you to look up these Chip Ahoy cookies. And I want you, because I can't read. First of all, I'm too old. The writing's too small. But I want you to read the ingredients, and I want you to stand up and tell me what those ingredients are, and if you can pronounce them, because most of the stuff I can't pronounce. I ain't trying to eat nothing I can't pronounce. Every time you purchase and eat this predatory food, you're actually investing in an industry that doesn't give a damn about you or your health. Furthermore, you're investing in obesity, heart disease, diabetes, stroke. You're in essence investing in death. How many of you know someone that's been to the hospital in the last month? And this is like, it's like the new norm for, oh, I'm going to the hospital. Well, I mean, when have you seen so many people that's always sick? Going to the hospital, that's the new norm. People are dropping dead at younger ages because of chronic diseases. We got any information on that food yet?
Too many unknown ingredients.
Too many unknown ingredients?
You don't know how to pronounce it.
Is that what it says? Come on, somebody.
I got one.
Wait, Nicole, let's go.
Well, first of all, I call it nutritional information.
Right.
Water.
Right.
First. This is the nectar.
Right.
High fructose corn syrup.
Which is?
Okay. And then there's strawberry and banana puree, citric acid, vitamin C, and carmine color.
But carmine color? Did you look up carmine? See, that's the stuff I want you. I have no idea what the hell carmine is. You know, I know it's not in my garden. Anybody? Nothing on the hot Dorito orange colored things? What we got?
I just looked at this and it's like unbleached enriched flour.
Which means what to me? Huh?
I don't know what that means. But it doesn't sound like unbleached flour.
Well, no, you should. That's what I wanted you to look up. Unbleached flour. Enriched with what?
Well, white flour is bleached. They just mean that it hasn't been through that bleaching process. Enriched means that they've added vitamins to it. It's because they feel it doesn't have enough
From where? So they take them out and they have to add it back to it?
Exactly.
And it's not food.
Right.
It's-
Food, they wouldn't have had to add the vitamins.
Right.
It's not,
It's
well,
actually food.
and
But they did us a favor, they didn't bleach it. We're thankful.
but
They added vitamins.
but everybody's eating this stuff, eating this manufactured food. You know, it's like actually heart disease. They're killing more people than bullets do. 75% of our national 2.5 trillion healthcare budget is spent on disease.
So what you're saying are the food companies are the real gangsters.
Well, see, why are you all up in my speech? I didn't get to that. No, and actually, no, they're not the real gangsters.
You're mafia. But
They're the real terrorists.
that's,
Domestic terror.
Yeah, no doubt. And no one's doing anything about it.
Right under.
You know, this is real. You know, 75% of the national 2.5 trillion healthcare budget is being spent on disease. 17% of our annual earnings are being spent on medical care. Wow, that's nothing. American car manufacturers are spending more money on healthcare than for their employees than they're spending on making the cars. I mean, I think, you know, how they have the prison industrial complex. I think we have a medical industrial complex too that nobody's addressing. You know, and the bad, unhealthy, killer food industrial complex, just like the military industrial complex. Our taste buds have fallen prey to. Am I on?
Yeah.
Our taste buds have fallen prey to processed food. We've strayed so far away from real food that we don't even know what it tastes like anymore. Fast food companies are the terrorists, for real. It was this one time my nephew, he came and he's over here, he says, Uncle, he said, Uncle Ron, I want something to eat. I said, well, what you want, dude? I want something sweet. So I was like, cool. So I go get an orange and you know, I slice the orange up and give it to him, and his whole face just changed, like, it's like sweet, Uncle. What do you mean, dude? What? I don't want it. What do you mean you don't want it sweet? It's you know, it's an orange. It's like, this ain't sweet. M&M's are sweet, you know. And that's a problem, you know. This is not unique to just my nephew. Most Americans, we're in a war, but we don't even know it. Americans are victims of self-inflicted dis-ease, all related to one source, and one source is food. Food is the problem, and food is the solution. I live in South Central, and I've lived there most of my life. I raised my sons there, and it's heartbreaking to see my community suffer from the ill effects of food. But this is what we get to see. The real gangsters, the real terrorists. I'm a firm believer in the people being responsible for what they eat and what they consume. You know, but some things are evident. If certain food products are not good for you, don't eat that shit. You know, but a lot of people, this is all that's offered to you in your area. So what are you gonna do? That's what you're gonna eat. But we the people, we can demand organic food. We can stand up for ourselves, and we can demand that our health be at the forefront of food production and not dollars and cents. We can demand that the empty lots be utilized for healthy food production. We can demand that access to healthy food. That's our right. I consider South Central to be a food prison. A densely populated concrete jungle surrounded by fast food restaurants, liquor stores, and vacant lots. But I refuse to be a part of a social system that leads to problems and not solutions. I got tired of getting in my car and driving out of my community when I wanted an organic apple. You know? And so what are you gonna do? A lot of times you're just gonna eat what's there, you know, what's convenient for you. So instead of waiting like others, and instead of waiting for others like the city, the government, and everybody else, I decided to take my shovel, my weapon of choice, and I started gardening. Started cooking. And what I did is I took my parkway and I planted on it. So I wanted people to be able to see that you can do this. I mean, I do these dig-ins, you know, where people volunteer, and it's amazing how many people don't know how to use a tool anymore, don't know how to use a shovel, don't know how to use a pickaxe or a mallet, and they wind up hurting themselves just by them trying to use these tools. We got to get back to the soil. That's who we are. We're soil. You know, we're the same thing. Soil lives. Soil is organic, just like we are organic. You know, we turn to dust. We turn to soil. The way I see it, it's our fundamental right to have access to healthy food. Damn, it's my fundamental right to grow my own food, and they're trying to make that illegal. They're trying to take our seeds from us. They're trying to make it where you're going to be able to get arrested if you have these kind of seeds. And that's the world we live in now. It's almost like a bad sci-fi movie from the 50s or 60s, a Soylent Green or something, that you would think, and then you think, how the hell did I get here? I mean, this is a movie script, you know. So what I planted my food forest in my food prison that I was living in. You know, on the street, I wanted everybody to see it. I wanted people to say, you can do this. You can plant. It's no, you know, you don't have to be an academic, and you don't have to be some mathematician to plant something in the ground. And that's why I put it on the street. I wanted people to see that it could do. I could have put it on the other side of the fence, but I wanted to share this with my neighborhood. I wanted to share the food with my neighborhood. I wanted to share nature with my neighborhood. It was like I built an ecosystem on the street where all you saw was asphalt and concrete and dead grass. So the city, they basically, for this I got in trouble for this. You know, I had a warrant, you know, I had to go to court, and I got this citation when the guy sent it. I'm like, come on, dude, really? You know, but here I am. I'm beautifying the city. You know, I'm showing people how to eat better. And this is what happens. Could you imagine that? You know, you're doing something that you think, that you see that is improving your community, and they want to arrest you for it? Imagine that. So eventually the LA Times got a hold of this story. And it went something like, Ron Finley, renegade gardener from South Central, is making a difference in his community. You know, like turning food deserts into food forests. Like, that was cool. And you know, and basically the city, it got kind of hot for the city, especially once Steve Lopez from the LA Times got it, because Steve don't pull no punches. I mean, Steve don't play the radio. He don't play. And he's like, he mentions everybody's name, you know. Even that, if he was with that little girl, he's mentioning her name. Steve don't play. You know. So once we did this, not only was I beautifying my community, it was helping to make it healthy. Sounds simple enough to me. Take an empty lot, put some make an edible garden, provide access to healthy food for free for your neighbors, save lives, make the space look better. A solution, not a problem. As far as I was concerned, I was building an urban ecosystem. I have literally witnessed my garden become a tool for the transformation, a tool for the education of my neighborhood. To change the community, you have to change the composition of the soil. We are the soil. We are the community. We have to get involved more in our communities. One of my favorite days in the garden, I was working and this teen comes by. I live right by the door, so he has headphones on and he was singing, and he turns the corner and he sees this big ass sunflower. It was like one of those 12-foot sunflowers. And he goes, yo son, is that real? Is that real? And it was like he was just amazed because he had never seen a flower that big, you know. But it just took him out of his whole thing that, you know, that he was he was here and he was attached to nature that fast. It was funny to me, and I thought, boy, this kid never had seen anything this big. And I wondered if I would have responded like, yo son, the sunflower is a reflection of you. It started out as a seed, and now it overlooks the gardens and brightens people's lives.
Too deep.
Yeah.
Later on, I thought about it, and what touched me the most was the fact that for a brief moment, this kid connected with the sunflower. Everything starts from the seed. Everything. Gardening is a powerful tool that teaches compassion, responsibility, leadership, entrepreneur skills, and respect for the environment. Did you know that LA leads the United States in vacant lots? We have 26.6 square miles of vacant lots in LA County. That's enough for like 20 New York Central parks that you can put probably what do we figure? You can put like 725,000 tomato plants in that amount of space. You know, growing one plant will give a bean plant will probably give you like $1 turns into like $70 or $75 worth of food. So growing your own food is basically like printing your own money. And it's time for you guys to be responsible for the food you eat. When you grow your own, you become more sustainable. So did I have anybody figure out what these ingredients are on this food that you guys probably eat every damn day?
there's this sodium in isonate.
You can't even say it, right?
Yeah.
But I bet it tastes
Sounds
good.
delicious.
But it
It
says,
tastes good.
it says that this sodium salt that used as an addict to food.
Why? What?
Added to food, like,
For?
but it was banned in 2004. It was linked to being cancerogenic.
Yeah. Oh.
But for whatever reason, it came back in 2009.
Right. Are those called lobbyists? Anybody else? Yeah.
Yeah, phosphoric acid is more, it has acid and it's also, it's in the code 0.
Right.
Code 0, and it's actually used, phosphoric acid is used to clean rust.
Right.
And also it's more, it has,
Ooh, rest. I know, rest. Yummy in my stomach.
yeah, and also it's more, it's more acidic
Right.
than lemon juice or lemon.
Mhm. What is there any aspartame or any what sweetener are they using? What natural sweetener are they using?
They have natural flavors.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm from Chicago, and one thing that we do in the winters are terrible there. I mean, 40 below with the wind chill factor. When you wake up in the morning, you have to dig your car out, and there's usually ice all over the windshield. We would take Coca-Cola and pour it on the
And
ice,
just melt it.
and it just melts it away.
Yeah. But we drink this religiously, and we that has to change. I mean, we have to take our own help, and they're not coming. I mean, if you read this and you see, like you just stated, it came back. They banned it and then it came back. Did you get the bulletin? Did you get that memo that, oh, this shit that's killing me, you guys let it come back? So what does this tell me? What does this make me think? That the medical industrial complex has something to do with this industrial food complex? Or maybe they're in cahoots to kill people? I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. People have to understand the importance of this.
But it's addictive.
Well, so is love. People have to recondition themselves and stop being so dependent on major grocery store food chains, fast food restaurants, and the drive-thrus that are killing more people than the drive-bys. People have to learn to eat with purpose. Rethink food production may be as simple as rethinking food purpose. Now tell me gardening can change a nation. Gardening is gardening is more than a food source to me. You see, I'm an artist. I grow my art. Gardening is my graffiti. Just like they graffiti artists, they beautify walls. I beautify parkways and yards. I use the soil like that's my canvas, and the flowers and the plants and the food that I plant. That's my embellishment for that canvas. Plus you can eat my art. Can't really eat that. My art actually began in fashion. I remember when I was 15, I got my first pair of pants tailor-made. I thought I was just so fly. I wanted to wear these pants every day. I was the coolest dude walking down the street. And of course, at 15, I couldn't get all my clothes tailored. The hell I get the money from them. But I thought I was the coolest dude that I am still. I figured, hey, I can do this myself. I just get my mother's sewing machine and make my own clothes. And after a while, it happened. I made some clothes and people were like, wow, people wanted them. People was wondering, how did I do this? So in the mid-'80s, I launched my fashion line, which was called the Drop Dead Collection. We used to sell at stores like Neiman's, Nordstrom's, Cachet. So my art started there. When my fashion business kind of slowed down, that's when I got into gardening. But my gardening actually started at kindergarten. You know, we used to get the little petri dish and you get a paper towel and you put it in there and you put the seeds in so you can watch them grow in the glass. That's still the way I start seeds to this day. See, every garden starts from a blank canvas. You decide how you want it to look. To me, I wasn't so impressed with vegetable gardens, because they're not that sexy to me. You know, they're just low and green. I want height, color, and different textures and different smells. And that's the first garden that I put in. It was a garden that it wasn't necessarily food. It was more like I wanted people to walk by and just get hidden all over with scents. I wanted there with different smells and textures and colors, and that's what it was. You know, you're smelling jasmine, you're smelling lavender, you're smelling all these different scents. That's what I wanted people to walk by and get their head and get affect their senses like that before, and then see the visual. So I wanted to attack them from two different angles. Food means different things to different people. It can bring a family together or maybe tear it apart, depending on who's cooking the food. We use food when we celebrate, and we use food when we grieve. Food can sustain us with life, or it can take it away. So how do we change food justice? Interesting. For one thing, I think the education system with this, because what we're doing, we have this one-size-fit-all education system. And that ain't how education works, because I don't learn like you. And she don't learn like you. But in school, if you don't get this the way they teach it, because they only teach it one way, you out. And I think a lot of that, and they know this, so I think a lot of that is by design. So we need to start in our front yards to change the system, one shovel and one seed at a time. To change the composition of the soil, we must change. With doing that, we will change lives, we will change communities, we will change our nation, and we will change this planet. So let's move in the direction of making sure that those who that want to work have a job. The guy that needs to be trained to take over his community, they're trained in a positive way. Let's work to keep youth off the street and teach them to have a sustainable life. Let's train leaders that train leaders. Let's move in the direction of training farmers, creating farmers markets in communities that don't have access to healthy food. Let's move in the direction of turning shipping containers into cafes and bringing food from the garden to the table. Gardening has become my gospel. I'm preaching to everybody to get out and just plant some shit. It all starts with a seed. So visualize that change you want to see and plant the seed. Meaning to do this, we have to make gardening sexy. You know, we have to, as a matter of fact, we have to make gardening as gangsters. So like you were saying, your Art was saying, your 70-year-old granny, if she in the garden, she gangster to me. You know, because she's taking her food system back. So that's what we want. That's what we have to do. So if you want to plant some seeds of change, just meet me in the garden with your shovel locked and loaded. Thanks. I want you guys to remember one thing. We're doing all this shit to fuck up nature. All the chemicals and the oil spills and you know, the carbon dioxide. But one thing we gotta remember, one thing we've been shown, nature always wins. Always. If you don't believe me, ask the dinosaurs. If you can find them. Good place.
Before you guys leave, we're going to have a demonstration over at the garden one, but right now we're going to have a little Q&A.
There you go.
So anybody that's interested in asking a question, please raise your hand and I'll get the mic to you.
Read it. Read the script.
I got you.
Ron, thank you so much. I had no idea you were an artist. It all makes even more sense now. As I mentioned in the opening, I have small children, and so I'm always interested in nutrition and, of course, like how to just give them the best chance in life. And I know that soil quality has been linked to learning disabilities, like heavy metals and cadmium and things like that. Do you ever do like soil testing as part of your guerrilla gardening?
Always. Well, see, people call me a guerrilla gardener. I don't know, that's some press stuff. I don't really take people's property that ain't supposed to be planted. I mean, generally the stuff I do is, I have permission, and yeah, we do soil testing, but the biggest thing I do, I build my soil. I mean, I'm a compost freak. What compost changed my life. But really, compost made me think, does anything really die? Because you got this green thing, nitrogen, you got this brown thing, this carbon, and you put them together. And now you get this 140 degrees, 160 degrees sometimes. Where's this heat come from if this is dead? This is organic matter just like we are. So same thing happens to us. That's what it made me go to. When we turn to dust, do we really die? And it's like, I remember showing one of my sons, look at this, look at all this steam, look at this heat. And he was like, wow. He was like, whoa, when he touched it. And he went straight to school. He said, that's one of the Newton's laws of relativity. The energy never dies; it just turns into another form. So I mean, that's how compost changed me. When you look at a tree, what it does, how it sheds its leaves, those leaves turn to mulch, and then it turns to soil, and it feeds the tree, and it starts all over. It's just like a cycle. So that's what. So soil, we're soil, we're bacteria. And same thing with mushrooms, or mycelium in the ground, communicating and all that. I mean, I'm not a scientist, but I ain't even close to no scientist. But it's real simple. I think a lot of this stuff is common sense, and we just got so far away from it that they're making it harder than what it is. Just get a plant, get some good ass soil, and put it in the ground, and put some water in it. Repeat that over and over again, and feed yourself. Feed your community. You cannot eat all the food that you can grow. It's impossible. You be eating all day and all night. You have to share that shit. You gotta share it.
Hey Ron, two-part question over here. Sorry, right here.
Sorry.
First, did the city's experience with you change the flexibility that they give to residents and how they care for their parkways? And two, if you live in CD9, have any of the candidates picked up on food justice and food security in the council race?
Food injustice. I already told you, ain't no food justice. Two-part. We actually, this week was a good thing happened because Mike Consummate, her Weston, we've been trying to get the ordinance amended to add edibles on your parkway. Mine is done because I know Steve Lopez, but I wouldn't suggest you do it. But so I got this great letter, literally I got it yesterday, on how they're putting it into a vote, and that they see that this community needs this, they're asking for it, and I mean it was a great language, but that was a long time coming, and kind of what brought them to the table was You know, they had contacted us. I probably shouldn't be telling you guys this, but I mean, I'm sure it's not going to go outside of this room.
Right.
You know, they hadn't called. You know, we were writing letters and we had these 3 meetings and we like, yeah, we're going to get, you know, we're going to change some shit. And they didn't, so we emailed, called, and we had no response. So all of us, so I was on NPR. I did this TED talk. And I was, so before the TED, I was on NPR. And so I said a little something about the city. You know, I really don't have no radio there. I don't know if you know this. And so somehow or another, I guess this got to the councilman's office. So days later, I was literally on the TED stage at a rehearsal, and I get a call from my councilman's office after I can't tell you how many months. And it's like, I told you, right? Hey. Basically, they call me, please don't say nothing bad about the city on the world's biggest stage. That's what this call was about. But I see they are working on it, and I must say, I mean, that's good news. That the fact that we have this letter, and I should have brought a copy of it, but it's encouraging because they see, and they even said something about changing these vacant lots into community gardens. So I mean, it's working. I mean, we're at a hell of a time right now. I mean, we're at a hell of a time. I mean, they see it, you know, and if enough of us do it, they can't do anything. You know, it's like the people have spoken. This is what we want. Stop. This is supposed to be a government for the people. This is not a dictatorship, and that's the way it is now. We're force-fed this genetically modified food, and you're not supposed. No, we don't need labels. Other countries, like they're supposed to be 10 times weaker than we're the biggest country and the strongest country in the world, but we're killing all our citizens, and they can't say anything about it because we don't have to put labels on their food. Come on, really? So, did I answer your question?
At CD9, any of the candidates pick up on
I don't know. I mean, Eric Garcetti once put on Facebook that we need more people like Ron Finley in LA, but I don't know if that was just to get my vote. Yeah, I have to talk to him.
Ron?
Yes.
Hi, I'm over here. First of all, I just want to say thank you for doing
Thank
what
you.
you do. And also, I'd just like to share with you an observation that I've made on campus here with regard to the cafeteria and the food that we have here on campus and the choices that I see our students making. And it's one of those things where I know the healthy choices are there.
No, your cafeteria, and I want you to finish your thing, but I wanted to say that even earlier. Your cafeteria does a nice job. I've eaten it.
It does a pretty
Yeah.
good job, I have to
Yeah.
say, but the healthy choices seem to be hiding in the back. And what's in the front is what I usually see on the students' plates, which is this really common meal of a slice of big, fat, gooey pizza with a side of French fries. And I just don't even know what to say. Like, I just wonder if you could speak to that in some way. How do we change? I know that our vendors need to make money to stay afloat, and yet I'd love to see the choices change somehow. And I'm wondering if you could speak to that. How do we get that change?
We all need to. Well, see, you're dealing with a populace that have been raised on that garbage. And that's what they want now. And that's why, you know, if you start a child off eating tomatoes, that's what they eat. They like tomatoes. If they eat kale, especially if they grow it, they eat it. It's a part of them now. They had something to do with this life form. But with this other stuff, it's easy, it's quick, and it's tasty. So it's like you're addicted to it. So even though you might put that, I mean, it's different. There's like stores in Pacific Palisades, these convenience stores. Some of them have fresh stuff right in front of, you know, whether as you go in the neighborhood like mine, there's no fresh stuff to be offered. All they have is this predatory food that's killing people. So I don't know how, to be honest, I don't know how you change that. I mean, and it's terrible that people decide to change once they have the disease. It's like, oh shit, maybe I should be a vegetarian. I'm not a vegetarian. Not that anything's wrong with it. But it's too late, dude. You know, But we can't stop. There has to be a way. We have to start putting healthy options in front of people. And you guys have them, but I mean, I think it's education. I was in Utah last week, and it was like 400 women for this conference on bloggers or something. And I was just surprised at how many of them was pregnant, first of all, my God. But then secondly, I was in Utah, go figure. But secondly, it was, I said GMO, and GMO was, and I'm like, whoa, damn, don't hate the players who were doing their job. You don't even know how will we ever win unless people understand what they're eating. That's the one meeting I will sit, and it probably have to sit at that meeting because we do. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I'm trying to create no animosity.
So you briefly mentioned about your educational system and in terms of like finance.
Well, it's not, especially where I like. These give me somewhere. There is a lot of. First of all, this school was just out in the city tanks. A lot of the will be telling you this because you're antiquated. Once you know, so when you get out there, they can't have everybody time. I mean, think about schools in the United States. On with them, they're not schools. It's an industrial complex. You take music, you don't have any money for that. You food. And you give them all these added ED and cheese, you can't pay attention and I'm feeding that. It's by design. And nobody's at a woman's educate our state, and no one brought up this is this. Yeah. And this one. So that's what's wrong with it. And I don't want to give you Michelle Alexander. All right. And it's right before your eyes. They're not trying to educate the education system. And the at-risk kids. What the hell, where you come from? Why is that kid that's fucking up getting the president? And they can go skiing. Kids is doing what they're supposed to do. Nonprofits, do they have them skiing? And it's twisted making money off that too. They're making everybody's. You think that movie, man, these kids in Harlem, the college, you think that's a fluke? All these, if you potential. And to me, it starts with food. You put regular fuel, fortune car. You think it's gonna go in? Ain't gonna do nothing. That's what's happening. They feed them down food. That actually. Run. Actually.
Go ahead. I just want to know this position. What kind of food? I know people who do TV. I know it's stuff. I don't need it because I know how did you do.
Well, I love that. So just to get that apple was in the center, but fish. But I mean, hopefully you grow up.
It doesn't happen for someone.
Don't eat that shit. I got it there. I don't know. It was. I mean, you look at this. I've never had a cup of coffee in my life. I don't know why. Yeah, did I eat fried chicken and hot water, sweet potatoes? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it can be made.
Thank you for what you're doing. So I think we're in California to grow so many types of food. And I think it would be cool if on a larger scale, if you're changing the way the country, so everybody can, certain areas where they can't have that. I mean areas where like they do all year long. Where they cannot.
Grow, period. I mean, it's hydroponics and indoor growing in your environment. All houses now that are full field where fish and that in art in herbs that's the future because it's already happening. Big scale where you're gonna go to your garage and you're gonna have your spinach and your carrot. That's what I see happening. Be efficient too. And
I've tried to build camp by discrimination and any kind of racism. I've established that. I have a good community where we're close to each other. And my question is, my community, organic, there's a down the block, it's about it, feeling homeless, and that's pretty cool. Very what suggestion, like, hey, you need to grow some, I like growing, that's very, what suggestion?
Some roses are, you got a garden there, nobody put on a big ass carrot. You know, the average, you gotta put it out, let people see it. That it's there, you can do is take it and drop it off at people's door down the street. And that exists, it's to show people that promote it. That's how it started. People, we had to take it to them. I had to take it to them to get them. I have a place, I have 400 people to go to play in. People want to do being cooped up in their apartment and how to hold a shovel. That's one of the biggest lessons that how to use to put their foot on a shovel. And that's it. It makes no sense to eat that, especially in that are hungry. Grow food and share it. Your lawn, your way done, and you're growing all the, growing on her front lawn. And now you guys know what you planted, and you know, and your son, I need to go give me some carrots. So now you eliminated somebody dangerous. You eliminate big people. That's why it's dangerous. But you have to start it. And that builds the community. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to comment on the cafeteria situation here at San Monica College. My name is Johnny, by the way.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I think the issue is
Go back, yeah.
Johnny.
Okay.
I think the issue is not necessarily that the food is accessible. I think more of it is affordability. More students here are just pretty much struggling to get through school, and a slice of pizza is pretty much the cheapest thing you can find in the cafeteria. It's like $2, versus you want to get a meal or something that's almost $7 to $8, and no one can. I don't know any student here that, unless their parents are filthy rich, that can afford $8 a meal right now on campus. Especially with the salads, they're like, a little thing of salad's like $7.
Grow your own food and bring your own damn lunch. Real simple.
My head is in the sand. My head is in the sand.
Only a few more questions left, because then we're going to start heading over to the garden.
Yeah, no, and a lot of that's by design. They make good. Why is it possible to spray food and put in this gear and you don't need a permit, the big act, but you have to get a permit to be organic, to not spray? Makes any sense? No, it doesn't. But that stuff, a lot of the stuff's subsidized. That's why it's cheap. They want it cheap, so you can get it and you can buy a lot of it, and then so you can be in the hospital and get one of those wheelchairs that they're selling, those used wheelchairs that they're selling on Western with new batteries.
Okay, so we're gonna do the last three questions. I saw his hand up first.
She got the mic.
My name is Keith.
And then we'll be on.
Dickerson, and I'm
Hi, Keith.
I'm an avid work socialist, I guess you could say that. And I've been doing it for quite some time. And for me personally, everything what you're saying is true. But for me personally, man, gardening is hard as work.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
And it's extremely hard.
Well, I ain't gonna go extremely.
It is. And what happens is in order to be a good gardener, you have to have patience, because most of the time when you plant a seed, it takes a while for you to yield the benefits from it. I think you were right on point with some of the things that you were saying, but I think we who have children right now, who have young kids, I think it's a grassroots proposition right now to really start real young with a lot of these kids that are 5 years old and 6 years old,
3, 2,
and 7 years
1.
old, with just a basic wooden box, a couple of wooden boxes, and some seeds, and start very young. That's what it was for me. I don't know what it was. The lady asked you a question earlier, but for me, just planting a seed and seeing it grow brought me a lot of joy.
No doubt.
For myself. And it just carried on, year after year and year after year. The lady mentioned something about the soil. Wherever you don't see any weeds or something growing, you got a problem. Okay? The soil. Normally, if there's some weeds growing or grass growing, you're okay. But if you have an area where nothing is growing at all and it's been raining, you have a serious problem. I would suggest that you do have the soil tested. And normally, when you do test soil, normally it's just lacking one thing, and that's nitrogen, basically. That's normally what happens with the soil. But I really enjoyed your presentation.
Thank you.
It was great. And all I can say is just keep up the good work. And I've been doing it for years. I grow it. And for all you organic people, when you go in these stores, you never know if anything is organic unless you grow it yourself.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree. The thing, too, yes, it's work initially, but as you know, stuff self-seeds. I don't have to plant broccoli no more. I don't have to plant arugula no more. I have to move it to where I want it now. So in that, after a while, the garden takes care of itself. In a way, no, it's work. Initially it's worked, but they even had these new smart pots. You seen the fabric? I have a thing it's called bed in a bag, and it's 100 gallons. You can get a 300 gallon, and you put it down, you put dirt in, and you put plants in it. That way you don't have to worry about your soil test because you bought your soil and you put it in there. So now I know that I'm growing with some of the best soil on the planet, or I put my compost in there, or whatever. And it's crazy because how fast this stuff grows, you know. But I totally agree with you. It is work, but I think that's what's lacking in a lot of kids now. Is that work ethic? Is that working for and to and getting to see the results of something? Yeah, you feel good. It's my solace, you know, to garden. It's my meditation to garden. You get in there and you forget. It's like, what do you mean I've been here for 5 hours? You know? And the best fertilizer for the garden is the farmer's shadow. And you know how the only way a farmer's shadow could get there is you can figure it out.
I hate to end the fun right now, but we have to migrate over to the
garden. Okay. One question.
Hi, sorry, last question. I'm an international student. I've never been to America before.
Really? Welcome.
But I very quickly realized when I came here that you would pass one road, a certain road, and the area you were in would completely change. I mean, you go from downtown Santa Monica, you know, healthy, equivalent, you know, high income, and you'd cross Pico and you'd get into like a completely different area. I also noticed that tourists wouldn't even pass 4th Street, which is like beach, ocean, 4th Street, and that's that. Do you think there's room to improve ecotourism within cities like South? Like South?
That's something that I'm working. That's one of the plans that I have is going to do that.
And do you think that would also be a better way to get funding and cooperation from the city?
No doubt, it is, because you're bringing money into different communities. But a lot of that's by design. They want you. There's benefit from people doing bad. You know, it's predatory. You know, so it's if they wanted to change, I need money over here. This community needs money. The community got money now. It's that simple. We don't need statistics. You already know it's bad. You already know how many people are dying over here. You know what they need. But if you sit there and act, oh, I got blind, I don't really see all these people dying and unhealthy. Stop. It's by design. If they wanted to change it, it would have been changed. We have to change it. The only way it's going to get done.
I feel like there's nothing more unifying than food and nature. So the best way to improve things is to grow things.
Grow your own food.
We invite you to come over to the organic garden, have some lunch, and take part in the demonstration. Thank you.